Hi everybody, my name is Shannon. Welcome to my channel, Another Yarn. Thank you so much for joining me today. I greatly appreciate it. If this is your first time here, know that everything I talk about, most everything, has to do with yarn, knitting, crocheting, and all the antics and everything that goes along with yarn, knitting, and crocheting. And all the different hobbies that go along with that. Collecting yarn, using yarn, finding patterns, collecting patterns, dreaming about yarn, thinking about making things, actually making some stuff. I mean, it does happen. It's going to happen sooner or later. You know, collecting all the things, all the tools that go with yarn, whether that's knitting needles or crochet hooks, or yes, you guys have even got me into doing that. What is that? What is it? Tunisian. Yes, those crochet hooks, those ones. It's like a crochet hook and a knitting needle got together and they made babies. Yeah, that's where Tunisian crochet hooks come from, by the way. That's where that comes from. Mom was one, dad was the other. The rest is history. Do I need to draw a picture? I don't think so. So that's where that comes from. So that's what I'm doing. I talk about all that stuff because I have a passion for it. I mean, it's what I like to do. It's what I've always liked to do, is play with the yarn and see what I can come up with. What can I make? Whatever medium that happens to be in. I haven't done any weaving in a lot of years. I'm not against it. I've definitely done it. No problems with that, but mostly it's knitting and crocheting. Yeah. But if you're playing with the yarn, whether it's just loving and hugging and touching it, you're part of the club. So today I'm going to go ahead and talk about, or show, or both. Yeah, both. I can do both. Making small amigurumi type things. It's been a while since I have shown one of my bags. This bag here is leftover fingering weight yarn. It's just a gallon Ziploc bag. Nothing fancy, nothing special, but lots of colors. I mean, hello, is that not gorgeous? Oh yeah. If you've been around, you know. I like that chartreuse color. I think that's what you call it. And I like sparkle. Oh, that one's got sparkle in it. That's this fingering weight Christmas yarn with sparkle. And that one has sparkle. I mean, oh, and that one has sparkle right here. Yeah, I like my sparkle yarns too, because if you're going to make something and you're going to do something, it should say, hi, let me sing. I'm here. I mean, for that matter, you see the shirt I have on, and then this big grandma necklace. Yeah, I had hot pink high heel shoes too. Yes, because with the black pants, you had to do the pink and it all matched. See, I like to, if you're going to do it, be a splash, and I'm a splash of color. So I have these bags of fingering weight yarn. This isn't all of it. I mean, there's too much to just throw away, right? I mean, you don't just throw it away, especially when people go nuts over things like this, right? These little minis, right? You know, they confuse me, but they're cute, right? So you get the minis. Well, if I cake this up like that, it would be the same way. So I can't just get rid of it. I just know. So you have all these leftovers that are, either you find a friend that is making a quilt or a blanket. Erin from Crafting Kitty is using sock yarn, and she's crocheting granny squares with the sock yarn, leftover sock yarn, that fingering weight that she's used for other projects. And she's just making it a blanket. And I had another friend previously that was doing a knitted blanket, the beekeeper quilt. And she was doing that. And I would give her my leftover sock yarns. Yeah, you know, and then I got to where I'm like, wait a minute, those are really big balls of sock yarn. So I started making hats with those. I would double it. Yeah, might as well. And make my own color combinations with the hats. I thought that was a lot of fun. So now I'm getting down to, for the most part, smaller pieces, which is good. You know, I don't know if my friend's still making that blanket or not, you know, because those things take a while. And she loved my scraps because I use the chaos colors, the lots of pretty bright colors. And most people stick to a palette. Yeah, I don't. No, I like all of them. Probably all at once. I think that stems from being in the military for so many years and being suppressed. By that, I mean I wore the same color in the same uniform, which is not true because I was in long enough to have multiple uniforms. Yeah, I'm that old. But you get the idea. Picking out my clothes for the morning was super easy. Now I have to think about it. There were some advantages to the uniform. I'm not going to lie. So, yeah. So I've got all of these bright, fun, gorgeous colors. And, you know, in between projects, I I like to do in-between projects. I have a lot of large things on the needles and the hooks because, again, I do both knitting and crocheting. So I have a lot of things that I'm working on. I have multiple blankets. I have no idea why I thought it was a good idea to start multiple blankets. Yeah, I think I have 4 or 5 blankets right now, combination of knitting and crocheting, and a couple of them are literally a combination knitting and crocheting. I'm knitting squares and I'm crocheting around the squares and then crocheting those together. So I am marrying up both crafts because I can, and that's fun, you know, and that's that wow pop that people don't expect, and I like doing that. So I've got multiple blankets going on, and I've got multiple sweaters going on. Child sweater and a couple of adult sweaters. So very large projects. And, you know, sometimes it's good to just have that, oh, and shawls and stuff like that. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff going on. But it's nice to have things that you can look at and go, I did it. I finished it. That sense of accomplishment. I love knitting and crocheting, whether I finish something on a daily basis or not, which is good because I don't finish things on a daily basis. So, you know, I get to still love my craft. But I fall for that too. I want that sense of accomplishment. And a lot of times I'll do a hat, right? Because depending on your pattern, if you're crocheting or knitting or what size yarn you're using, you're going to be able to get through that pretty quickly and go, wow, I've accomplished something. Fingerless mitts, people like those. I know a lot of people don't understand it. I personally don't generally wear them, but I've made quite a few and I've given them away and I've gotten requests. So people love them, right? You know, so fingerless mitts, those don't necessarily take too long. It depends on the yarn you're using. And that can take a little bit. Christmas ornaments. I've done a lot of Christmas ornaments, things like that. You can do small projects. Amigurumi is not a bad idea. You can do things quickly. Me with my amigurumi, I have noticed, that's just me personally, is I have to muscle through it. And by that, I mean, when I picked out a pattern and I want to make it, I'm generally pretty excited or I wouldn't have started it, right? See that? Yeah. I was very excited with that. This is Layla. This is Layla the love bug. Isn't she cute? Yeah. She's ahead. She's ahead. Layla, what grade would a 10-year-old be in? Layla would be at least 5th grade. Let's put it that way. If Layla was a child, Layla would be at least in 5th grade, if you know what I'm getting at, right? I started Layla a long time ago. This is by, if you follow Ravelry at all, K4TT is the designer, Fiber Doodles. Yes, you can still get the pattern. Layla has a body. I've never made the body. So this is an example of being very, very excited to make the project and really getting onto it. Like, yes, I can do this. This is awesome. This is fun. I mean, look at the eyes. I think that was like one of the first times I did, 3D dimensional eyes like that. And I got the little eyelashy things and stuff. And I'm very proud of her. I think she's beautiful. And in one of my boxes somewhere, I have the yarn and the pattern for her to finish her. Layla's a good decade now. Just saying. She's at least 10 years old. She's cute. And that's exactly what I mean by that. So I have to muscle through the amigurumi or it's just not going to get finished. She didn't get finished. I love her. She's beautiful. She's been on my shelf for a decade and she's going to stay that way. She's adorable. So I have to kind of muscle through on that. So some things are quicker than others to make with the amigurumi. If I set it down for too long, oh, and when I grew up, they weren't called amigurumi. They were stuffed animals, but whatever, But if they sit for too long, they end up like Layla, right? So I picked some other smaller things. So good use of some of the leftover sock yarn. Great kids' toys are, let's see if I can pull this up because I got a picture. Oh, come show me a picture. Show me the picture. Show me the picture. Show me the picture. Okay. How to make your own goldfish. Aren't those adorable? So that's just, and you can use any weight yarn. There we go. Now you can see the whole thing. Of course, you can use any weight yarn you want to, but if you're like me, you have an abundance of fingering weight yarn, and they're absolutely adorable. They're about the size of like a hacky sack, if you remember those. Yeah, a little bit bigger, but look at that. That is just leftover sock yarn, simple increases, using the safety eyes on that. You don't have to use safety eyes. If you're good, you can embroider them. I use safety eyes, yeah. And it's got the cute fin, and you can put the tail on either way. You can put it that way or the other way. See, well, I put them both the same way, right? So these were, I did different, see? So I got the tail going in different directions on these. These were leftovers from socks I made for my kids, and you know, the socks that they have, and sooner or later they do wear out because my kids do wear their socks. They love them, adult children. They love their socks. That is their favorite Christmas present every year. But this, even when the socks have finally worn out, they still have the fish. And they're adorable. And they're great for the kids to play with, right? Not just the adults, you know, and you can toss them around. This one doesn't have the top fin. This one does. Choices. Absolutely adorable. So it's got the, I mean, aren't those just the cutest little things ever? I mean, come on. You gotta have fun with things. Not everything in life is serious. These are adorable. They're pretty quick to make. I mean, semi-quick to make. They really are. If you're more comfortable using larger yarn, use larger yarn. Use what's best for you. I like using the smaller yarns. I have an abundance of it. Let me go through it. Let's work on it. Whatever the yarn is that you collect, because let's face it, we all have our favorites. No doubt about that. Grab some scraps. Have fun with them. So some of the other things too. Obviously this was a colored yarn, but you can, you know, patterned yarn. They're all colored, right? They all have a color. But if you did solids on this and you're just getting into doing color work, perfect. And the reason I say that is it's a small scale. You've got a sense of accomplishment by getting something finished, right? And you can practice on that. You can put color work in. You've got straight sections from here to here before you're doing any increases. So you can put a little motif right around there. Grab any color work, grab your graph paper, and just do like a design that's like you could even do every other one, right? You know, well, red pattern, or whatever the colors happen to be, you can do something along that line and increase your skills in something that you're not going to mess up. It's no real consequence one way or the other, but you're getting your skills honed. I did something similar on this. This is the pattern is called Knubbelchen. It really is. And this is a free pattern on Ravelry. This is also a free pattern. I will have both of them linked. And on this one, I've made it before. I messed up on the arms. That was me. I wasn't paying attention. I just made them too big. Nothing wrong with that. But what I was practicing with is doing this. My embroidery skills could get better. They could get a lot better. Well, the only way I'm going to get any better is if I actually do that. And most of the times on my patterns or projects, you're like, I don't want to mess up this, whatever this is, right? That we spent a lot of time on. Well, I didn't want to mess this up either. But that hat is a perfect example of being able to try to put something fun and enjoyable on that looks cute. I've also had people suggesting doing something, because I was talking about doing the same thing on the front and the back of the sweater, if you want to call it that, for this, of doing some other embroidery and practicing things, because it's the only way I'm going to get better. It really, really is. And if it comes out a little special, that's okay. So I had some suggestions of doing hearts on this, and I thought that would be a good idea. I'd like to get the skills improved some. I'm not saying I'm going to be an expert. That's no, but improve, because there's some other projects that I have going on that I think doing a decent job with embroidery would really enhance the beauty. So practice on this, perfect. Make things like this and practice on these smaller objects that are kids' toys, that are love, that are something that you can have around as a memento of, this is where I started and this is where I'm going, are wonderful, wonderful opportunities. A sense of accomplishment, getting something done, a sense of accomplishment. I was going for stars, and I think they look like little star snowflakes, so I did good. Are they perfect? No. I mean, look, I was trying on that, right? I mean, it's off, but it works. And the only way you're going to get it any better is to do that. Just working on it, practicing it. Use things that you think look good in your head. Try to accomplish it with yarn. Follow YouTube videos. That's what I was doing. On this one, I was looking at a book and everything, and it's like, okay, I think I understood it. And just try. We're all learning. You can learn too. And if you find some really good resources or something that work for you, especially for the embroidery, please let me know, because I do have some bigger projects that I have. The blankets that I'm working on, I want to put some embroidery on those. And I don't want to mess those up. I want those to look very pleasing. I didn't want to mess this up either, but this is a good practice thing. So, those are my fun things to try to get accomplishments, right? And just practicing with lots of stuff. And, we're all crafting. We love the yarn. Different quantities, qualities, etc. I like pretty much all yarns. I really do. Because they all have a different use. You could do lots of things, different yarns, different uses, different patterns, different this. This one goes to this person. This one goes to that person. This sock yarn is a very good hard wearing sock yarn. I think I'm not sure how long my son had his socks before they finally got thread born. I mean, just completely darning wasn't going to work, right? But he loves them, and that works out well. So I love having this around because it reminds me of that. I remember those things, and then that sense of accomplishment. Fun times. Tell me what you do for your sense of accomplishment in between larger projects. Just something that you're like, I just have to get something done. I just want to feel like something's moving. Let me know what you do. Let me know down in the comments. With that, everybody, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let you guys go. You guys have a great day, night, evening, whatever it happens to be. And I will talk to you again later. Bye-bye.